Yeah, the little lights.
So even though it's more
The red. Oh, you don't even need color.
He was trying to get in my way. He was walking once and he's like, oh, you get one in town. I don't know if you can so do you want to so that he doesn't should he be inside?
Can you read off the names of those that aren't present, please? Ariel. Ariel's coming, she's stuck in traffic. Sean, class. Connie, class. Jose and Shavy are both excused for RAs. Okay. Aram's here, I know I saw him, and Creation will be back. And then that's it, right? Yeah. Okay, perfect. So once those two are back, we will start. Senator Lebon, are you leaving? Just wanted to keep up. Okay, maybe for two more people, and then we're going to start. What time? 6:35. Young, you, Vaughn, Ira, Van, and Zuribe, Nunez, and Chen. Okay, I know we're still waiting on a few more senators, but one of them is currently in the office and the other one is still coming here because of traffic. But because we have quorum, we currently have 9 senators, we will begin our meeting. So I call the meeting to order at 6:08 p.m. Welcome everyone on Wednesday, October 19, 2016. We will move on to roll call. President Pro Tempore Lee, excuse absent. Cha Senator Ira, present. Cha Senator Chen is also present. She is present late. Cha Senator Cole, excuse absent. Cha Senator Cortez Hernandez, excuse absent. Cha Senator Khan, excuse late because of class. Cha Senator Javier.
Here.
Cha Senator Jimenez. Here. Cha Senator Nkosi. Here. Cha Senator Nzaribe, excuse absence. Cha Senator Nunez. Here. Cha Senator Moore. Here. Cha Senator Nguyen. Here. Cha Senator Young.
Here.
CNAS Senator, my bad. BCOE Senator Cato. Here. And then BCOE Senator Lamont.
Here.
Thank you. We will move on to the approval of the agenda. If you all have not received an agenda, there are some extras up in the front as well as displayed on our overhead. If there are no corrections, I know that some people might have to leave early, so if you would like to make any corrections to the agenda, this would be the time. Yes, Senator Young.
With your approval, I'd like to get my Senate report after public forum.
So you want to move just your Senator report up to after public?
Yes, please.
Correct. Perfect, thank you. The motion.
I move to make my Senate report before they reports directly after public forum.
Thank you. Seconded by Senator Nkosi. Are there any other corrections or additions to the agenda? If not, the motion on the table, can I please get a motion? The motion on the table was to move both senators' reports before committee reports after public forum, and there was a second. All in favor? All opposed? Abstentions? With a vote of 10-0-0, motion passes. Now can I get a motion to pass the agenda? Yes, Senator Young.
I move to pass the agenda.
Seconded by Senator Nkosi. All in favor? All opposed? Abstentions? 10-0-0. Motion passes as well. We will move on to the approval of Senate meeting minutes number 1. They will be going around. Please do check over them to see those that did present and did report last week. Please just double check to see if the information is correct. Other than that, it will be going around. Okay, moving on to the next, which is ex officio report. At this time, I invite all ex officios to come up, let us know any events you are up to or any other items that you would like Senate to discuss and take an action on.
Hi, I'm here for I'm here for announcements and programs. Just a reminder, our event with Diane Guerrero is still happening November 2nd in Hub 302. Time is from 5:30 to 9 p.m. Just note that tickets are all gone at this point. So if you're interested in attending, you have to sign up for the wait list. And from my understanding, it's also pretty long. But what everybody should be interested in going and is that you A, sign up for the wait list, and B, show up the day of. If you're so interested in going, like we'll have, people will be dropped, I think, from the reservation, like their ticket reservations, I think at like between 5:30 and 5:45. So all those tickets will go to people either on the waiting list or physically there. So if you're interested in going again, please make sure that you're present on the day of. There will be a book signing afterward, so folks will be able to meet her, and that's pretty cool. And yeah, just another reminder that our full desk conference is coming up on Saturday, November 5th. If you know of any undocumented students or educators who are interested in finding out more, please point in our direction. You can find us at Foxhole Hall 224. This is really important just to get resources out there for adoption in your on application. So it's free. That's cool. event is going to take place next Wednesday, so I may not be able to come to our state association. The things I wanted to bring up to them is UCPD body cameras that I've talked about in our first day of association, and what is the update with that. The second thing I would like to talk about is the tuition hike that is going to take place in 2017 and 18. And a possible solution to it could be possibly Prop 55 on what is their stance on it. And if Prop 55 was to pass, does that mean we secure enough funding to keep the tuition high for another 6 years? If you want to talk about it more, please let me know. I did already talk to LRC and President Pro Tempore about presenting a resolution for ASUCR to take a stance on the tuition hike and Prop 55. Our year, I'm going to be working with Shay Cole and Senator Valerie Nunes to confirm the design and the timeline of the grand release. And I will also be working with them along with Kevin Singh to finalize our year budget. So if you please, if you want to look at how much we're spending and all, please consult with us before we confirm it with the vendor. Senate will still be voting on it, but it will help a lot if we could consult beforehand to get the right numbers before it hits the finance and before it hits Senate. So please talk to us. Secondly, as we all know, we had a long meeting last one regarding the ASUCR reporting structure. I sent an official letter to the chancellor, which is up on our website, which is public, so for everyone to review, as well as the chancellor's letter to us. He did respond to me, to set up a meeting with me along with Executive Vice President Wen Yu Chao and President Pro Tempore. I've asked the Chancellor if he can extend the invitation to the rest of Executive Cabinet and at least one more senator. If you want to be part of that conversation and you are very passionate about this, please let me know. Unfortunately, there is a limitation on the city, so ultimately we have to consult with Executive Cabinet and decide if we should attend. And lastly, I would, as a Hub Board governing member, I would like to let you all know Hub actually made an official vote and recommended to continue the Beach Musical Festival for the 2016-2017 year. But I would like to make a note that this is an advisory committee and it is a recommendation. Ultimately, the Vice Chancellor still has the ultimate say. But he does have a proven track record of listening to the students. So we'll see. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions for President Krim? No? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey y'all, I'm Jonathan from the LGBT Research Center, just to share a couple fun events we have coming up. This Friday is our annual Coming Up Dance from 7 to 10 p.m. in the bar. It is Halloween themed, but no costume is required. First 50 guests receive a food voucher for the barn food. There's a free photo booth and bring your own ally. And then next Tuesday, we will have the exhibit of Pride in Stonewall, Pentland View 104. And it's the same exhibit that was in the Rivera Library last spring, but we're just like previewing it again before it starts to travel across California. There will be trivia prizes and cake pops. This is from 8:30 to 10 p.m. And then that Wednesday, we have our midterm study break where we have free massage chairs, free food, and free testing materials. It's across APSP, CSP, and the LGBT Research Center. And it starts at 5 and until 8 p.m.
Are there any questions? Yes.
Wait, when and where, or when did you say the free massage?
Wednesday, 10/26.
Okay.
And the chairs will be in APSP.
Okay, thank you.
If we finish Senate meeting early, we will definitely go.
You could actually come by early because it starts at 5.
Oh. We'll see you before meeting. Thank you so much. Any other questions? Perfect. Thank you. Any other ex officio reports?
And I just want to come up here and address, the turn of events that, happened basically to where we have a controversy over the appointment of Justice, Samantha Fuentes. So I kind of want to give an overview. We're kind of going to do this. I'm going to give an overview, and then Joe's going to speak, and then Samantha, and then I'm going to come back and close and do questions. Is that fine?
You have 5 minutes. If someone would like to extend time, that would be
Okay,
ideal.
sure.
But yeah.
So basically, I kind of want to start from the beginning, and I'm also not going to take too much of your time. I'm not going to go into this. So what happened to create this whole problem was the executive cabinet and the Senate, through approval of last year, appointed Justice Catherine Gabriel, who was a justice for a very short amount of time in, a massive controversy at the end of 2015. She was reappointed because she had experience on the Judicial Council, and knowing that she was going to graduate at the end of the year, I presumed that it was, supposed that the problem would be handled at a later date. I don't know, I was not a justice at that time. But essentially, fast forward to the end of the year, there started to be some question over whether the current executive cabinet and Senate, the then current executive cabinet and Senate, were going to appoint someone to replace Justice Gabriel so that we could maintain the Constitution's principle of 3 justices per executive cabinet and Senate. The reason for this is so that it stays equal, right? Because the Judicial Council is the final authority on all matters relating to the bylaws and Constitution of ASUCR. We want to make sure it's an equal branch as possible, so we allow each year to appoint 3 justices. So it was eventually brought to the Judicial Council, and the Judicial Council issued an order to the Senate and Executive Cabinet to appoint a justice to replace Catherine Gabriel as soon as her term was over, which is the day after the last day of commencement when she graduated. Her intent to apply to graduation was considered her essentially implicit resignation letter that she would be leaving after the end of her graduation because she would no longer be eligible to be a justice. So this position would be for sure vacant. There was much controversy on what this happened, and there were 3 appointees that the president gave that were suitable. The first 2 were rejected by the Senate, mostly because there was still some disagreement on an entirely lawful judicial order. And the 3rd justice appointee was at a meeting that was called, I did check earlier, it was called within the required 48 hours notice. In fact, there was one meeting that was called and canceled because there wasn't the 48-hour notice. So it was called, and the Justice Samantha Fuentes was voted on with 3 yes votes, 1 no vote, and 2 votes abstained. The requirement to appoint a justice is 2/3. So that it was announced at the Senate meeting by the Executive Vice President that the appointment failed. Later on, the President, Ashley Hirano, brought it to the Judicial Council that was an incorrect announcement of the result, and that the result should have been that the appointment had passed, since 3 to 1, yes to no, is a 2/3 requirement, exceeds the 2/3 requirement. The Judicial Council examined part of the parliamentary rules, and it essentially decided that she was correct. And we actually last week, also this parliamentarian showed and looked it up that this is indeed what Robert's rule says, that it was, if you only count the votes that are yes and no, the abstain counts as a no vote. So essentially that was, that appointment stood. And at that point, as soon as Justice Gabriel graduated, Justice Samantha Fuentes became a justice, and is still a justice today. I'm going to let Joe, I'm going to let Joe
30 seconds.
do a little more. Thank you. I'll come back with first.
20 seconds.
basically what I'll be doing is just reading off majority opinion 7, which was the points. A better way to look at it is a point of clarification about what happened at that Senate meeting in terms of the result of the 3-1-2 vote. So basically, this is what it says. I wrote this on, so I'm probably the best person to ask any questions about. At the request of Ashley Harno, President of ASUCR, the Judicial Council has reviewed the Constitution, Article 4, Section Act 2 for interpretation. The majority opinion of the interpretation of the aforementioned statute is as follows. The ASUCR Constitution, Section 4, Article 4, Section F2, gives the executive branch the power to appoint members of the associated students by majority vote to the Judicial Council with ratification of the Senate by 2/3 vote. At the emergency Senate meeting that took place on Friday, June 3rd, a candidate for justice received a vote of 3-1-2 and was not appointed. This meeting took place because of the judicial order that required Senate to ratify a candidate for a 1-year term as justice next year to fill up the vacancy left by Justice Catherine Whitfield. But because of the language of Article 4, Section F2 of the ASUCR Constitution, this candidate has been ratified by Senate and as such will be a justice next year. 2 key matters are called into question in light of the facts of this particular issue. 1, does the Constitution mean 2/3 of those participating in the vote or 2/3 of Senate present to vote? And 2, what does it mean to abstain from a vote? To answer the first question, in reviewing Article 4, Section F2 of the Constitution, the Judicial Council finds that there is no language that suggests the Constitution calls for 2/3 of Senate present to vote. Article 4, Section F2 simply states ratification of the Senate by 2/3 vote. This means that when it comes to ratifying a judicial candidate, it is required that when there is quorum, 2/3 of the senators voting must vote in favor of that candidate to be appointed. A little bit of a side tangent here. There's a little bit of nuance to this in the sense that actually I'll hold off a second on that until this next part. This brings us to the second question about what it means to abstain from a vote. In coming to the conclusion of what abstention means, the Judicial Council took a logical approach. If one is in support of something for any reason, they vote in favor of it. If one is opposed to something for any reason, they vote against it. The Senate can also ask questions to clarify the issues they are voting on to come to a conclusion about how they should vote. So when a person wishes to not be a part of the vote, to not vote in favor for or against something, they simply choose to abstain. And so here's where the nuance comes in. Basically, the argument basically is that the Constitution 3-1-2 isn't 2/3, and in some contexts that is true. There are sections, the context in which that is true is that if the Constitution had said 2/3 of senators present, then you would count the total number of people, and so 3-1-2 would not be 60% of that, and it would be, it wouldn't pass. An example of where the Constitution says that is every section that requires the removal of a executive branch member, legislative branch member, or a judicial member. The Constitution says that for the executive branch and for the judicial branch, it requires 2/3 of the entire Senate votes to remove a candidate. And for senators, it requires like 2/3 of the entire executive cabinet. So in that context, a 2/3 vote an abstention in that situation would have the same effect as a no vote, and 2/3 would not pass. But in this context, the Constitution just says 2/3 vote, which means just 2/3 of those participating in the vote. And the definition of the word abstain literally means to refrain from doing something. And so I'll address this in an appeal that was raised to this decision. But basically, when you abstain from a vote, what you're saying is that you don't want to be a part of the vote. So when you look at the voting population, which is the people who said yes or no, not those who abstained, that's 3-1, which skews to 75%, more than 66%. And then the judicial majority opinion 7 ends at the emergency Senate meeting that took place on Friday, June 3rd, candidate received a vote of 3-1-2 and appointed. However, because of Article 4, Section F2 of the Constitution, there would be no need for 2/3 of those senators participating in the vote. That would mean 2/3 of the senators participating in the vote to be approved for the candidate because they're senators who changed, so not to be part of the vote, just look at the voting population. 4 senators for the voting population, 3-1,
30 seconds.
75%. So that's that for this decision. The appeals for that basically said that, in summary, basically there was a claim that the 3-1 part wasn't the right way to interpret that, and that there was an issue with quorum. the rejection of this appeal by the majority of the
Time.
committee.
I move to extend time.
Object.
There's a motion on the table. The motion on the table is to extend time by 5 minutes. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Nunez. All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? There are 2 people that didn't vote, so we will do a recount. All in favor? All opposed? Abstentions? Was that a vote? Can you put your arm out for abstentions, please? Our numbers are still not right though. So can you please do it again? When I say, put your hands out, please, so we can count, okay? All in favor? All opposed? Abstentions? It was 363, so motion failed. Your time has expired. I do apologize. Yes, President Krim.
Is there a question on the
At this time, well, no, because the time has expired. If you would like to ask questions, I would advise you all to contact judicial. Can you say the email?
ASUCRjustice@ucr.edu.
ASUCRjustice@ucr.edu. If you do have any questions, please do let them know. If not, are there any other ex officios who would like to report? Perfect, we'll be moving on to our next item on the agenda, which is public forum. At this time, if you would like to address the senators, please do so. We would love to hear more from you all. Last call? Okay, thank you. Moving on, after public forum, we made a motion to have our Senator Young to go first because he does have other obligations to attend to with the senator report. So at this time, you have the floor.
Hello, everybody. I'm Senator Bo Young, CNAT Senator. I wanted to talk about some of the things I've been working on, some projects. I'm happy to say that although the Uber project has taken a different direction, that we have made a lot of progress, me and Grim. So what we've done is we've contacted TapRide, which is a service that other UCs and other universities use. It's like imagine the actual app for Uber, but within just the thing without paying the card and stuff. And that's something that we're going to explore in the future. And if any of you guys would like to help me on that, I would really appreciate it. Other than that, we've got a couple of really good resolutions coming soon, particularly about CNAT seating and having there's certain classes that have students that with poor grades to sit in the front during tests. So we actually pay them differently. But other than that, I can.
Thank you so much, Senator Young. Are there any questions for Senator Young?
Point of inquiry,
Yes,
will my committee report be listed on the agenda?
it is.
Is that the,
I believe that is the outdated version. If our Senate Secretary can send in the updated one. If you look on the agenda that you do have, it does have the GCAP committee report. Perfect. Are there any questions? No? We will be moving on to committee reports. We will begin with our Legislative Review Committee. At this time, I would like to regretfully inform that Jonathan Lee, our President Pro Tempore, was unable to make it to meeting tonight. So we will have our Vice Chair of Legislative Review Committee, which is Senator Ira, to be presenting the SB F16004, which is General Amendments Chapter 415-I.
Right, you just
No worries.
So yeah, Senate Bill, 4. Okay, so Jonathan asked me to speak on this on his behalf, as he wishes here, but, okay, so this amendment is updated. I'll just read you guys the background really quickly. This amendment is updated to the current status of the marketing committee. The committee is now reduced to 6 members, and webmaster is no longer a position in the marketing committee. The ASUCR webmaster is managed by an ASUCR professional staff member. The director of marketing and promotions oversees the updating and maintenance of the ASUCR website. So basically, prior marketing committee was kind of bloated as a committee, so they just cut it down to 6. And from now on, since it's part of Amy, who works in our office's job description to update the website, she'll be handling that instead of a student. So it's just going to be part of it. It already is part of her job description, but basically it's just going to be an active part of her job now. So that's basically what this amendment. We're just that's what the language is about. So it's an issue.
Thank you.
So just to explain, you guys would be voting to approve this change, which is a very minor change. It's just structural, so no big deal.
Thank you, Senator. Would you do the honors of making the motion?
I make a motion to, I move to place this resolution to be voted on.
It is already being voted on, so to approve.
To approve this. Yeah, okay. I'm really tired. Okay, yeah.
So you move to approve Senate Bill F16004, which are general amendments.
Right.
The motion on the floor is to approve the Senate Bill F16004, which are general amendments. Can I please get a second? Seconded by Senator Jimenez. Are there any discussions or questions at this time? Nope. All in favor? With a vote of, all opposed? Abstentions? Unanimous vote of 12-0-0. Motion passes. It's approved. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, Finance Committee. The Senate shall discuss and take action on the finance report. If we have our Vice President of Finance come to the podium to read over the finance report so we can approve it, that would be great. Is there a paper speakers list?
Yeah, but there's no.
Oh, there's no pen. You don't have to sign because, yeah.
I know you guys had a lot of questions previously, so I'm just here to answer any that you have. So for this week's finance hearing on the 18th of October, all members were present except for Senator Cortez. The following allocations were approved for the following organizations: Providing Opportunity Dreams in Education in Riverside, approved 750. Pre-SOMA, approved 825. Legacies Dance Company, approved 825. Writers and Readers Intending to Evolve, approved 825. Change in Scientific Importance for Youth, 908, approved. Swipe Out Hunger, 825, approved. Greenwood Film Society, 750, approved. Undergraduate Solicitor Association, 825, approved. Highlander Statistics Society, 1098, approved. Cosplay Brigade, this organization was tabled. It was tabled because it's an auto renewal, and because it's an auto renewal, there isn't any representatives here speaking on the budget. We had a couple issues with some of the line items within the budget, so we actually asked that we table this budget and wait for a representative to come in and speak on the budget. Chemistry Club, 100, approved. NSU, 110, approved. Position for Vision, 146, approved. For a total org allocation of 7987. There wasn't any ASUCR within any ASUCR spending within the contingency budget. So do you guys have any questions for me at this moment? Sure.
So they're asking for like for multiple of them, they're asking for over $1,000. But how come they're only allocated like about 100?
Yes.
Like there's probably like rules.
Oh no, so basically how it works is once it's an auto renewal, the allocation, what we come into the allocation slot is the difference between this year and the previous year. They're still getting the full amount they're asking for, but it's just the
Like
difference
that's the
that's
difference?
shown.
Oh, okay, so like they're asking for that much.
Yeah.
But they probably got like 140, 86 more, so.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
I know you guys had some couple questions about where the numbers came from as well. So the numbers are based on how many years they stay active within the organization or how much they're activated through student life. So each year they add up by 10%, so it goes from 750 to I believe 925 and so on and so forth. 825, sorry, 825. And then it raises every single year by 10%. Yeah. So that's basically it.
GCAP Director Martinez?
Is precision provision like classes and stuff?
I don't have too much information on for you for what the org actually does. I honestly
If you would like more information, Student Life, Highlander Link, those are always options for you to go on and check it out yourself. Thank you so much. Any other questions? No, would you like to do the honors and make the motion?
A motion to approve I move to approve the total org allocation of $798 for the monitoring of October 18th, 2016.
798.
7987, sorry. 797.
The motion on the floor was to approve the allocations to orgs of $7,987. Can I get a second, please? Seconded by Senator Ira. Are there any questions or discussions about this? Not at this time. Nope. We will move on to a vote. All in favor? All opposed? All abstained? With a vote of 12-0-0, motion passes. Moving on to the next item of agenda, the GCAP committee. The Senate will discuss and take action on the grant proposal in regards to the GCAP dinner and movie nights at the R Garden.
If you want to show it up, I could actually do some motion and have a discussion. So I move to approve the GCAP grant.
Thank you. The motion on the table, sorry, I'm trying to pull it up to Senator. The motion on the table is to approve the GCAP.
The GCAP grant of $3,700 to the art garden.
$3,700.
For the art garden.
Perfect. So the motion on the table is to approve the allocations from the GCAP grant to our garden of $3,700. Can I please get a second? Seconded by Senator Young. At this time, we will go into discussion or questions.
Any questions? You were there.
Senator Lon?
What's the next movie then?
Okay, so this is a grant for the art garden. They've, for the past 5 years, have asked for this grant, and it's a grant for them to continue their programming projects, specifically their movie nights. They don't have very much money to work with, so having programs kind of luxuries them, and this is granted so that they have something to continue with every single quarter. It's $3,700, and the money is being used for movie rights and marketing material. It's for the whole year, so that they can only use the money specific to the quarter. So for example, we're going to have, I believe, 3 movie nights or 2 movie nights this quarter, which means they'd be limited to only $800, $400 for movie licensing, and $500 can be used at any point because it's marketing. The next movie night is going to be, well, assuming this grant gets passed, it's going to be October 27th at the ARPA.
Are there any other questions? Yes.
It starts kind of like around twilight, so like some going down.
Any other questions? No. The motion on the table once again was to approve the allocations to the GCAP grant to our garden of $3,700. There was already a second. We will now take it to a vote. All in favor? All opposed? Abstains? With a vote of 12-0-0, congratulations to our garden. They have received their funding. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda is senator reports. At this time, we have 8 senators that are to be presenting. However, a few have classes, so I will be presenting on their behalf. So I will begin with them. Senator Enzaribe. We had our one-on-one, and we were basically discussing projects that they were interested in, different things that he would like to work on. One of the biggest projects that he wanted to do, which actually came as sort of as a recommendation from a student last year. Last year, I believe during spring quarter, there was a couple of days I was raining especially hard. Raining coming, and students were not prepared for it. It was sort of out of nowhere. So Senator Enzaribe had this idea of making the hub or different areas lending out libraries, lending out umbrellas to the students to allow students to be able to utilize, have something accessible to them just in case they weren't prepared for a rainy day and they didn't want to be rained on. So that was just one of the ideas that he had that he really wanted to work on, along with, I believe, Senator Thon, who will speak more about it later on. Other than that though, he wants to work on different projects regarding, as well as different projects that he wanted to work on was also not only the umbrella, but he also wanted to work on the bike share program. However, with the halt in the bike share, that's something that we will be discussing later on in hopes to make it possible. Other than that though, that was all the projects that he currently had that he was thinking about. He will be also writing different legislations coming up. He regrets to inform you all that he's unable to attend this quarter a lot of the times due to class. However, when his class is finished early and if we are still in session during Senate meeting, he will be sure to attend. Other than that, that is his report. We have already heard from Senator Young, so we will be moving on to Senator Nguyen.
Hello everybody. So I'm currently sitting on the Chancellor's Committee on Sexual Harassment and Sexual Violence Prevention, Campus Internal Affairs Lobby, and the CNAS Executive Committee. So I've been given a training course to complete for the sexual harassment and sexual violence prevention, which I'm currently working on. And next week, I and Senator Bo will be attending the CNAS Executive Meeting on Tuesday, October 25th. The CNAS senators are currently working on a research expo project. CNAS Divisional Dean Mike Pickett and I are in contact right now, and we're trying to find a date to meet with Charlie Robinson in the Career Center and his supervisor Elizabeth Montgomery. So we want the Career Center involved because they can assist the students who are interested in attending the expo with their resumes, presentations, and their preparation. And another project I personally am working on is a made mural on campus. I'll also be making it one of my legislations, proposing that this project will increase and enhance school pride, as well as give students an appropriate outlet for self-expression.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions for Senator Nguyen? Moving on to our next senator, DCOA Senator Levon.
Okay, what's up guys? Pretty much I've been trying to get ambitious stations on campus. It's a lot more expensive than I thought. So right now I have a budget of $5,200, and then I have two locations. I have two locations I'm looking at. One next to the bell tower, that's approximately $9,000. The one, and then there's another one in Warrens, which is $6,000. However, I can borrow $3,000 more from GCAP to get a budget of like $8,000. So I'm hoping that if physical plant made an overestimate, I would like to use that money to pay for the bell tower one, and then apply for another grant next quarter so I can help pay for the fourth one. Also, our other DCOA Senator Kato met with the dean this past week, or last week. I think last week, and the dean wants more tables outside Warrens, between Warrens and the bookstore, because like everyone knows, we have an influx of students, and unfortunately a lot of DCOA students have lost a lot of studying space. So after I'm done with these projects, I would like to work with GCAP to get more solar power tables outside in that area. Other than that, I've been working on the bylaw and reformation for LRC, and that's pretty much it.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions? If not, thank you once again. Moving on to our next senator, Senator Iyer.
Hi everyone. My name is Senator. My name is Aram Ira. I'm a senator. I'm also very tired. So today I'll be reporting on a few of the things that I'm currently involved in. One of the biggest things I'm working on right now is with TAPS. So I met with the director of TAPS the other day. A very cool woman. We sat down and talked for a while. So basically right now, as we all know, there's a lot of congestion on campus and people wait 30 to 45 minutes to find parking. Personally, I don't feel that struggle, but I feel for you guys, so I'm fighting really hard for this. you know, because they couldn't find parking. Oh my god. Okay, so right now they're working on opening. TAPS is currently in negotiation to open 3 parking lots. They're going to be leasing the parking lot from the Blaine Church, the Grace Methodist Church, and also the Newman Center. So this is currently they're negotiating, so this might not happen, but it is in the progress of happening. So those 3 will be opened up, and I'm working on getting if we open those 3 up to have shuttles going from those parking lots, so students don't have to walk that far. Apparently TAPS didn't have enough funds to cover that, but I don't see how expensive parking permits are, but that's regardless. So I also set a future meeting with the TAPS director to make sure other senators in ECAP could voice their questions and concerns with her. And lastly, on that issue, there's also, by winter time, or at least that's the estimate she gave me, there's going to be 100-person parking lot opening up where the HR building is right now, the International Student Center, right next to it. It's going to be like 100-person parking lot, so that should ease up a little bit of it too. I'm also currently working on I'm doing research for passing a resolution that would be concerning international students. I think that ASUCR should have an international student director eventually representing international student concerns, because they're currently not really talked about or included in the conversation. But if not, then I'll definitely, I guess I'll settle for establishing an international student committee on ASUCR that would be able to include international students, bring them out to our events, and kind of make sure that they're incorporated as well into the conversations that go on campus. And lastly, I don't really know if this is specifically Senate, but I'm working with ASPB on a collaboration event with the Botanic Gardens. So, like, instead of us finding a separate event or them having to look for a venue, we would just provide the venue, and they would have one of their events there, so students can come out and enjoy whatever the event is in a nice setting, which is very nice. You guys should go check it out. This weekend, by the way, this is still part of my report, kind of. This weekend is the plant sale. You guys should all come out. So that's the last of my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Yes.
When this weekend?
This weekend, thank you for asking that. This weekend on Saturday and Sunday, it's 2 days. On Saturday it's from 11 to 3 or 4, and on Sunday it's from 9 to 4.
3 p.m. to 4 p.m. and the next day it's 9 a.m. from
No, it's from 11 to 3,
Oh.
I believe, and then Sunday it's from 9 to 4.
Got it.
I would totally advise coming Saturday though, because that's where all the prettiest plants are, and then everyone just grabs them, and then on Sunday you have like the sad ones that you have to really work with for a long time before they're pretty. If that's what you're into though.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Okay, moving on. Senator Khan.
Hello, Connie Fan. No. It's okay. Either one is okay. Chat Senator, fourth year business major. I currently sit on the marketing committee, Highlander Action Committee, scholarship and honors, and graduate. So for the marketing committee, I've been working with Josh Lopez right now. He's mostly working on the Food Truck Festival, which is, if you haven't seen the posters already, it's October 27th around noon, so 11 to 2. And then this is going to be, half of the profits are going to go towards the art pantry, so you guys should definitely come out and try to volunteer. So right now we're just trying to create posters for that. And then as for my other committees, I haven't gotten the chance to meet up with them yet, but when I do, I'll let you guys know. Right now I'm working with Sean and Zuribe on the umbrella rental system. So it's kind of similar to Senator Lee's white rental cooker rental system. Our plan so far is to let students rent out umbrellas through the hub on like a 24-hour system, and then they can get it checked in with their school ID, just in case it gets lost or something, they'll get charged for it through the growl. And then I'm also working on a project with Senator Lee on a platform for students to input their ideas online on a website, and then it'll show like, it'll help direct them to whoever they need to talk to, or it'll let them know if it's being worked on currently, and it'll let them know like what's been completed so far.
Thank you, Senator Chen. Yes.
Just a quick question, because you said it's for sweaters. Have y'all thought about like t-shirts or something because it's hot out here?
That's definitely a really good idea.
Yeah, I can bring it up. We haven't really thought about that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving on to our last senator, Senator Chen.
Hi everybody, my name is Ariel Chen and I am also a CHAS senator. I'm a third year business administration student and some of the projects that I'm working on, I've actually also been assisting Senator Enzaribe with the umbrella rental program. We've been in talk, I've just given some ideas. I thought that rather than charging, I know it's probably we can discuss this further, but I kind of like the idea of, you know, the laptop checkout program we have at the hub. I think it's better if we don't charge the students, just so they feel more of an incentive to go and use them. Maybe we can develop some sort of system so that we can ensure that these umbrellas don't get lost. Another thing, I'm also part of the outreach committee. We've been in talk with Angelica, who is the outreach director, to set up a meeting time. Well, it's kind of difficult, but I believe we will be meeting sometime this week. The hearings are this week, Thursdays and Friday, and the general meeting will begin next week. I'm also on the Art Closet committee, and we are about to set an official meeting date with Director Martinez, and I'm also going to be working along with Senator Nkosi on the Undie Run. This year we have plans to make it a lot bigger. We want to make it similar to UCLA, USC's, or UC Berkeley, because they get a lot of attendance, and we want that for our college as well. I will also be meeting with EVP when you very soon. I kind of want to get an idea of how it was in prior years, just so I can start developing ideas for it. I've also been in talk with the Greek community because I want the Greek community to be involved in this process, and I guess to kind of help us out and for more of them to show up. And I am also going to be reaching out to other individual organizations on campus, probably going to create, like Senator Nkosi said last time, some sort of prize so that they'll have more of an incentive to come out and promote body image. And also we will have the clothing guard there. Also, I'm also part of the student conduct committee. We haven't not set a meeting yet, but I will let you guys know when we do. And I'm also part of the international education committee. I'm actually really excited about that one because I understand what it's like to be a student from not here. So I guess I will be making up programs to make them feel less afraid to reach out to the resources here on campus. Because yeah, we can. But that concludes my report for now.
Thank you, Senator Chen. Are there any questions? Nope, I'm excited to meet up with you, so see you Friday. Now we conclude our Senator reports. We will move on to our next item, which is new business. At this time, we do not have any new business, so we will move on to public comment. At this time, if you would like to come up and ask any questions, if you would like to address the Senate with anything that was discussed during this meeting, this would be the time. If not, we will move on to roundtables and announcements, starting with Senator Moore.
No, I'm just kidding. Alright guys, on sale Saturday.
Not kidding.
Please come out.
Thank you so much. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Yes, Senator Moore. Can I get a second? Seconded by Senator Fan. The meeting is now adjourned at, all in favor? I'm so excited to adjourn too. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All opposed? Any abstentions? With a vote 9-0-0, meeting is officially ended at 7 p.m.
Yeah, no problem.